Hi, today we are going to discuss about the different data types in Python. So what do you mean by data types? A data type represents the type of data stored into a variable or memory. For example, I want to store a value called 1 into a variable called employee underscore ID. Similarly, for example, I want to store the name of yours or mine into a variable called name. For example, I want to store the salary into a variable called salary. And so you can see here, 1, which is just an integer type. Name, whatever we are storing into either a single quote or double quote, that will be treated as a string type. And salary, which is in the decimal format, that is 100.50, it will be treated as a float type. For example, let's see how it looks like. If I want to display, like what is the employee ID, what is name, and what is salary, you can see it. I'm able to see the output saying that my employee ID is 1, my name is equal to whatever name you have passed, and my salary is equal to 100.50 or 5. Both are the same. But suppose type, I want to see the type of each variable. For that, we have to use a predefined function called type, which is given by the Python. And inside that, I have to exactly pass the variable name. For example, you can see type of employee ID, EMP underscore ID, type of name, type of salary. So you can see type of employee ID, it is showing integer type, int, class int. Similarly, type of name, it is showing class of str. Similarly, type of salary, it is showing float type. Why? Because it depends upon the data. As one is stored into employee underscore ID and one is of integer type. That's why the type of the variable, that is employee underscore ID, is showing as int type or integer type. And you have stored a string value into the variable called name. That's why whenever you want to print what is the type of the variable name, it will show class str, with string type variable. And similarly, as you have stored 100.50, which is a decimal value or float value, into a variable called salary, whenever you will print what is the data type of salary, it is showing class float type. That means based upon value, the data type of the variable is decided in Python. Okay, that is the advantage I can say. Different types of data types. There are mainly two different types of data types present in Python. One is built-in data types. Another one is user-defined data types. What do you mean by built-in data type? The data types which are already available in Python are known as built-in data types. Similarly, what do you mean by user-defined data type? Which is defined by the user, or I can say the programmer or the developer. So coming to built-in data types, basically you can see different types of built-in data types. For example, we'll take the numeric. Numeric type again subdivided into two types, either integer type or float type. Sometimes before we saw the example saying that whenever I am passing the 1, I'm storing into a variable called employee ID, and whenever I'm printing what is the type of employee ID, employee underscore ID, it is showing integer type. Why? Because 1 is an integer. Similarly, whenever I am trying to print what is the type of salary, which contains a value called 100.50, as it is a float type or a double type, that's why it is showing, it is telling me type of salary is equal to float. There is nothing on double type in Python. It may be present in different languages. Let's say Java, it is present, we have double type. But in Python, we don't have double type, we have only float type. Okay? Fine. Now, coming to Boolean, that we have a different built-in data type called Boolean, which is taking two different values, that is either true or false. Another data type is non-type. So suppose nothing is present, then it will count on a non-type. Sequence. Whenever we pass a sequence of value, then it may be different types, either list type, set type, tuple type, dictionary type, or range type, or like maybe string or something else. So these all the things like list, set, tuple, dictionary. These are all, I can say, Python data structure. Whenever we get into Python data structure, I will extensively explain about those data types and all. For time being, you should not worry about that. Now coming to numeric type, as we have seen there are two different types are there under the numeric type. One is integer type, and another one is float type. Coming to integer data type, the int data type represents value or numbers without decimal value. That's what we have seen, because I have passed only 1 to enp underscore id. I have not put any decimal value. That's why 1 is treated as an integer type. In Python, there is no limit for integer data type. It can store very large value conveniently. For example, a is equal to 20. Suppose I have to print of a. Obviously, it will give me 20. Suppose I have to print what is the type of a. So then I have to pass a variable inside the predefined function called type. Then you can see it is giving me class 8. That means 20 is integer type. Based upon the 20, which is a value stored by a variable, whenever I want to print what the type of that variable, it is telling me it is an integer type value. Similarly, coming to float data type. For example, I am storing a value called as 50.5 in a variable called salary. And whenever I will print of salary, definitely it will give me 50.5, no doubt on that. But whenever I will try to print what is the type of the salary, then it will give me class float. Why? Because it depends on which type of value it is stored. As 50.5 is a float type value, that's why the data type of salary or the variable is called float type. And now coming to the second category, which is a Boolean data type. Boolean data type represents Boolean value in Python. Boolean data type having only two values, which are either true or false. You can see the most important thing is here, T is capital, F is capital. Okay, that is sure. That is the constant thing you want to maintain. Python internally represents true as 1. Sometimes instead of writing 2, we write 1. That means it indicates true value. Sometimes we write 0 for false also. That means it indicates false value. Okay. Let's take one example. For example, I am storing a 2 into a variable called a and a false into a variable called b. And I want to print those variables like print a and print b. No doubt it will give me true and false. Okay. Now, category which is non-data type. Non-data type represents an object that does not contain any value. If any object having no value, then we can assign that object with no non-data type. For example, a is equal to none. Print a is equal to none. And whenever I am trying to print type of a, it will tell me class non-type. Why? Because a has not contained anything else, empty value or non-value. Note, a function and method can return non-data type. This point we will understand more in function and OOPS chapter. Okay, a function can return also. A function and method can return non-data type also. Now, sequence in Python. Sequence means an object. Sequence object can store a group of values like string value or list value, tuple value, set value, dictionary value, and range value. Note, regarding sequence like string, list, tuple, set, and dictionary, we'll discuss in upcoming chapter. As I told you, there is a separate chapter called Python data structure. There we will extensively explain about all these topics one by one. Nothing to be worried. Now, what about the range data type? Range is also a data type in Python. Generally, a range means a group of value from starting value and ending value. For example, I will tell you a range starting from 0 up to 5. Then it will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can create a range of value by using a range predefined function. The range data type represents the sequence of number. Range function. So in the range function, basically what happens? Either we pass, we have 3 types of range function. Different syntax I can say. First one is, let's say, range parameter 1. We'll see what is that. The range, either I have to pass, start value. I have to pass both start value and end value. The third syntax is range of start, comma, end, comma, step. What is step size or step value items? For example, let's consider about the syntax 1, which is range of parameter 1. I'm passing here only one parameter, guys. You can see the example. For example, a is equal to range of 5. Print a, so it will give me output range of 0, 5. If you provide range 5, then range object hold the value from 0 to 1 because I am not passing here the starting value. By default, it will take the starting value as 0. And as I have passed the value as 5, so it will go starting from 0, go up to 5 minus 1, which is 4. So it will print 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Last one is just excluded. Okay. Similarly, for example, like suppose R is equal to range of 5. Suppose I will print of R. Then what is the data type of R? It's nothing but range type. You can see the class range. That means range is also a class. Note, range data type and range parameter function. As you know, range is a predefined data type in Python. To create range data type, we need to use range predefined function. Now coming to the second syntax, range of start value and end value. Then how will you declare that? For example, same example, like A is equal to range of 1 to 10. If I am not passing, let's say for example, A is equal to range of 10. Here I am not passing the start value. So by default, it will take 0. So it will start from 0, go up to 9. Why? Because last value or end value minus 1. That's why it will start from 0 and go up to 9. As here, I have already passed the start value, which is 1. And my end value is equal to 10. So it will start from 1 and go up to 10 minus 1, which is 9. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can see in the note also we have written the same things. If you provide range like range of 1 to 10, then range object hold the value from 1 to 9. Why? Because 1 is the starting index which is included. 10 is the ending value which is excluded. So we have to exclude the value. Okay. Here 1 is the starting value. Okay. R is equal to range of 1 to 100. Print R, obviously it will give a range of 1, 100. And whenever I will try to print the type, it will give me the class of, class range type. And coming to the R syntax, a range of start, end, step. As discussed, we can create range of value by using range start, end, step function. Here, start means starting value. End means end value. That means still end minus 1 should go. Step means incremental value. How many value I will increase? By default, it will be 1. But I can customize it. Suppose I will pass 2. Let's say what is coming here. For example, A is equal to range of 0, 10, 2. And if I print of A, obviously it will give me range 0, 10, 2. What do you mean by that? It means that my value will start from 0. My starting value is 0. It will go up to 10 minus 1, which is 9. And it will go for 2-step index. That means after 0, 1 will not print. Directly 0 to 2. Because 2-step jump. Then 2 to 4. Then 4 to 6. Then 6 to 8. Then after 8, 10 should print. But as we are going up to 9, so up to 8 it will print. That means finally what it will print? It will print 0, 2, 4, 6 and 8. That's what it will print. See, note, if you provide range of 0, 10, 2, then range object holds the value 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Because 2 times it will keep on jumping. Now, how will I access this range value? Accessing range value. We can access range of value by using two ways. Either by using the index or by using the for loop. Accessing range object by using index. How to do that? For example, A is equal to range of 1 to 100. Here, we have the start value is called 1, end value is equal to 10, and there is no step value. There is no step value means by default it will be 1. So 1 increment it will happen. So it will start from 1, go up to 10 minus 1, which is 9, and increment by 1. So it will print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now I have to print the first value. So A of index of 0. So it will give me 1. Now I have to print the second value. A of index of 1, which is 2. So like this we can print all other values. Okay. Now, accessing range object by using for. For example, R is equal to range of 5. For I in R, print of I. So here this comes under syntax type 1. So we have passed only end value. There is no start value. There is no step value also or incremental value. So as I am not passing the start value, we know if we are not passing the start value, by default it will be 0, starting from 0. And the end value it is giving 5. So it will go up to 5 minus 1, which is 4. So it will start from 0, go up to 4. So it will give me 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Why increment by 1? Because I am not passing anything else. So by default it will be increment by 1. That's why whatever things is printing, if I take the for loop, it will give me 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Because last value or end value will be always excluded. Starting value will be included. End value will be excluded always. Now, immutable and mutable. Range data type is immutable. Means we cannot modify or change the existing range object. Terminology. There are two types. What is this immutable and mutable? We discuss more in details in Python data structure. Okay, nothing to be worried. Terminology. There are two types of data. Either mutable data or immutable data. Generally, mutable means we can change the existing object. Immutable means we cannot change the existing object. For example, mutable, a first name or second name we can update in banking application. But immutable, account number in bank application. For example, you have already opened an account in a certain bank. An account number is unique for each and every customer, right? It cannot be duplicated. But for example, while opening the account, you have given your first name and last name, but the person who was filling the form, by mistake, he has done some letter here and there. And it was a printing mistake or typo error kind of things. Whenever you find, let's say, one I is missing, or double, instead of I, you put double I or double A. So you can rectify that. Later on, you can come to the edit mode, you can change your name or modify your name, or you can update your profile details. So it is changeable. That means it's mutable. You are able to change, you are allowed to change. But for example, already your account has been created in certain bank. Let's say ICICI Bank or HDFC Bank, whatever. And next day you told, no, I don't like this account number. And then visit the branch manager and told, hey boss, I don't like this account number. Could you please change my account number? They will tell, sorry boss. Once account number has been created, we cannot change the account number. You have to stick with the account. Otherwise, maybe you can close this account, you can open a new account, that is a different story. But we cannot update this existing account. Okay, that is called immutable because you cannot change. Okay, now, for example, A is called range of 10. Print A of 0, so it will definitely print. Suppose you want to modify, and A of 0 means obviously it will give in 0. Why? Because range of 10 means it has given the end value. It is not giving the start value, and we know if start value is not given, then by default it will start from 0. So print of A of 0 is nothing but 0. But whenever you are assigning A of 0 is equal to 111, that's 111, that means you are trying to assign 111 to A of 0. That means you are trying to change, you are trying to modify the existing value. That's but which is not applicable. You cannot change it because as you discussed sometimes before, all the range of the sequence object are immutable in nature. You cannot change. That's why it's throwing one error, saying that type error. Range object does not support item assignment. Why? Because it is immutable in nature. It's not mutable. Similarly, user-defined data types. The data type which are created by the programmer are called user-defined data types. For example, in class, is class, module, array. We'll discuss about this in Oops chapter. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.